Howdy, 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 howdy there, folks, and welcome to my attempt to make a complete comprehensive guide to Mr. Shaggy in Multiverses. The Shagster. Shag-a-plenty. The Shag. I don't really have anything else to say, so let's get on with the actual video, huh? Shaggy is a close-ranged bruiser who has strong both vertical and horizontal attacks. His skins are the default skin, the shitty-ass fucking Kung Fu one, and Uncle Shagsworthy, which you can't get anymore. Unlucky. Also, the guys from Scooby-Doo, if you somehow didn't know that for whatever reason. So, I haven't played a Smash game since the Wii one, so I'm not going to say horseshit like down tilt and all that because I will not be fucking controlled. You cannot force me to say that shit. I'll be using Brawlhalla terms instead, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. So all of the attacks where you use the normal attack button will be a directional key plus light or air on it to differentiate between if you're in the air or on the ground. And then you have special attacks, which follow the same kind of rules instead as a directional key and special. It's not a very complicated system, so I'm sure you'll be okay with it. Anyway, let's go through all of his different attacks now before getting into his combos and reads and all that other good stuff. Starting off, we have Uplight, which is your standard stand in place and charge kind of attack. You also get armor while you're doing it, so you can use this attack a lot against dog shitters who aren't using armor breaking attacks and out priority them. Fin spamming his annoying ass run around and hit attacks, just use this and you'll absolutely dog in him, and then you just have to pray to Jesus Christ that he won't backpack on you instead. Sidelight is your jab attack for all you Smash fucking Mother Teresas out there. You can hit it up to 3 times as a kind of combo attack thing, and then it will push people back with an okay amount of force. You can also change the direction you do this little combo thing whenever you want, so if they dodge behind you, you can hit them with the if you happen to miss. The range of the initial jab is really short, so you won't have priority over much of anything, but it's also very fast and has a bunch of combo potential that we will get into later. Your upwards attack arcs above you and is big enough to hit people on the ground, but since its range isn't great, people above you tend to out-prioritize you, and that's no fun. It can also be charged, and at full charge it has a shitload of force, making it possible to kill people with it, surprisingly enough. It's also a great inwards dodge route against opponents in the air, but more on that later as well, you impatient truck. Downlight is this kicking motion thingy-majigger that not only breaks armor, but gives you armor as well. You also have a shit ton of combo potential off this attack. Oh, you also can charge this shit up as well. It also can punt people off the ledge and kill very, very early. Also, you can press Downlight again to do this clapping motion combo thing that slows people on hit. It's kind of fucking ridiculous how much shit they're able to pack into this one ability. It's definitely a little bit overtuned, if you ask me. Your mentality when playing Shaggy shouldn't be, how can I hit this guy here? It should be, how can I hit this guy into my Downlight here? The only downside to it is that it's a rather slow ability, so you're going to have a tough time landing it just randomly out of nowhere if someone has a greater than lukewarm number of IQ points. Neutral Air makes Shaggy run in place in the air, and you can freely control Shaggy left, right, and down while doing it. This attack can damage people up to 3 times, and they are completely stun locked while you're doing it. If you do land the 3rd hit, it also knocks them back with a little bit of force. This attack is kind of weird to use at first, and I highly recommend binding a specific key or button to neutral attack for this, or else you're gonna accidentally side or down air pretty often, especially since you'll be fast falling a whole lot with this attack. Neutral air can also be used off the edge, which is cool, dude. Ledge guarding is pretty neat with this attack as well, as you can kind of hover over the ledge like this here, and then go for a little bit of a down air or something after baiting them out with it. It can also be used as a very quick off the ledge punish, if that's your kind of thing. On the stage, this attack is very strong because of the freedom of movement you get while doing it, allowing you to effectively reactive read them while hovering over them, and it can outlast a dodge. More on reading with that later. Sorry about that weird glitch. Slamming my desk caused some funky things to happen. So anyway, what I was gonna say is we're gonna go over more on reading later in the video. There's a timestamp if you want to skip, if you're a little impatient, motherfucker. Otherwise, just keep watching. Side air is this little knee thing here. It's chargeable and is very fast, but it doesn't have that much force even when fully charged, and the hitbox is small. Overall, I like neutral air better in most cases because it's way more versatile, and is subsequently one of the weaker attacks in Shaggy's kit. You're able to change the direction of the kick during the start of the animation, which could be nice for a little read in the air or something. It's also pretty alright in the air as well, but don't use it as an engage or anything unless you know what you're doing. Unlike on the ground, you can't charge your up air attack, so don't you dare fucking try, and I mean it. Otherwise, it's basically the same attack as Uplight. It's a very fast but short upwards hit they can use to juggle people up in the air a little bit. Down air acts as a sort of ground pound that arcs in front and under him. This attack's hitbox is a lot less lenient than other hitboxes, making it not very spammable, but it has a lot of force to it, making it very strong if you do happen to land it. Being a ground pound spike, I think you smashers call it, of sorts, it's a fantastic kill move off the ledge, and it can gimp people at very low damages. Landing this shit off the ledge is nothing short of a little present to yourself. You know? You feel me? You catch my drift? My Andrew Day? Now, let's talk about Shaggy's specials. Shaggy's neutral special caused you to go Super Saiyan after a pretty goddamn long amount of time, giving you an entirely new set of special attacks when completing his power-up that we'll talk about after going over the normal special attacks. After using an empowered special attack, Shaggy returns to normal. During his charge-up, you're left completely defenseless, so keep that in mind when you want to use this. Also, it should be ingrained in your fucking skull to immediately start neutral specialing the second you kill someone to get some free damage, as well as pressure before they respawn, because Super Saiyan Shaggy can dish out a lot of damage very quickly. Side special is the famous kick attack that is so gosh darn toxic and spammable that rivals even Finn Backpack and Taz Tornado spam in toxicity. This attack is one of the main reasons to play this guy, if you ask me. If you aren't aware, you can move fully up and down while doing this attack. Hell, you can also move fucking both up and down in the same goddamn animation if you wanted to. The developers also apparently thought it was a good idea to make this one of Shaggy's biggest hitboxes, making it actually get priority over a lot of attacks in this game, and also hit behind you for some fucking reason. This attack can read almost any possible dodge or attack in the game as long as it has priority. And that's not even hard to do at all. It's actually ridiculous, okay? And if you aren't just doing this for half the game, then you're doing something wrong. Not really, unless you're lower elo. I guess there's no elo right now, unless you're bad at the game. At the end of this attack, due to how fast falling works in the game, you can very suddenly move downwards, causing you to essentially gain a giant ass hitbox at the end of the animation. You can pretty much fly right over someone and only downwards at the last second and still land this shit, making it very hard to punish unless they see it coming, immediately dodge away, and attack before you yourself can dodge. If they do indeed start doing that, just start mixing it up with some side specials that don't do the fast fall war crime, and just immediately follow it up with a nair to punish their dodge, and you might get yourself a nice little Alt F4 real quick. This fast fall trick can also be used for ledge guarding, and it covers so much goddamn fucking much of this ledge. This attack is so overtuned, it's not even funny anymore. I haven't even mentioned jump canceling yet, and his up special is much less ridiculous, but it's still very strong. It causes Shaggy to do this uppercut thing. It has a decent amount of force, but the hitbox is much less forgiving compared to side special. What you see is, for the most part, what you get with this ability. So, basically, face the right direction, and make sure you get reasonably close to someone before trying to use this, and you'll have yourself a pretty good time. You can also jump cancel both this attack and side special, which puts you in a much more favorable position after landing it to land some more attacks and reads and whatnot. Shaggy has technically 5 down specials. He has his sandwich throw and pickup, as well as this basically empowered down air attack. His sandwich is some much needed range in his mostly committal close quarters kit, and it's very versatile in every stage of the game. You can use it for spacing, forcing them into a dodge read, edge guarding, baiting, hell, even combos. It's a very nice attack, and honestly, I could have a whole video dedicated towards it, but I'm not trying to add 10 minutes to this video just to over-explain something that is honestly very intuitive after a few games, so I'll just leave it at use this as often as you can in your games. If your gameplay doesn't consist of you constantly throwing and picking up sandwiches, you're either doing something very wrong, or you're completely doggy on someone and can't be bothered to use the second required to pick the sandwich up, as that would get in the way of the Shagster shagging Shesh. His other down special is a much more situational attack. It's very slow but has a ton of force. In most cases, I think you're better off trying to land a down air, but you can dodge cancel this attack if you're trying to get in some baits, and you can also land it against bad players who panic and don't dodge correctly, so it's not completely void of use or anything. Alright, we can talk about the Super Saiyan version of Shaggy specials now. Every single empowered special attacks, besides your sandwich, causes your opponent to be weakened, which, in case you were wondering, causes them to take more damage and get knocked back farther than normal Shagster attacks. Neutral special causes Shaggy to strike a sick pose, basically covering himself in hitbox and giving him armor. It doesn't have very much force, but it's definitely the safest empowered special that still leaves people weakened. This weakened debuff lasts quite a while as well, so you still have plenty of time to try to get a kill off of it with some sort of combo or just a little certain bomber-like quality attack. It also works as a great disengage if you're getting effed the frick up a little bit, you know? Your side special is your kick on steroids. It's really fucking fast now and does more damage and has a ton of force. It also goes a little bit farther now. You can still fast fall with it too, so it's basically just a less dodgeable version of your normal side special, but can kill a whole lot easier. It can be jump canceled when you land it as well. Up special now hits multiple times in the same move, obviously has more force and goes a little bit farther. This attack is oddly janky, as you can't hold forward while doing it for some reason because then your target just falls out of it. It also doesn't just fucking work sometimes, and they'll just fall out of it for absolutely no reason at all. At least, I don't think there is any. I don't know. It just doesn't work sometimes. I swear to God. I'm assuming this is just a bug or something and that'll eventually get fixed, but for now, let go of that forward key or joystick and pray to your corporate overlords at Warner Brothers to allow for a measly existence, such as yourself, to land it, or else you're gonna have a bad time. This attack can also be jump canceled if you land it as well. Your first down special is an empowered sandwich throw. What makes this attack special is that you maintain your Super Saiyan state after using this, so try to have a sandwich before powering up, as you can't pick one up while you're empowered. Also, this is the one ability that does not leave them in a weakened state even though it's empowered, so just keep that in mind. It's slower and doesn't drop off as much as the normal sandwich attack as well, making it more for applying pressure and forcing them to dodge a certain way more than it is to hit with. This also makes it excellent for fighting off the edge with it as well. Your second down special causes you to punch the ground if you're on the ground, or do the same ground poundy animation as before, and then shoot out a big ass shockwave, which has a shitload of force. It's honestly a very nice attack. That's all for his attacks. Sorry for the word vomit of shit to say, but there's a lot of stuff. Let's talk about more stuff now. Oh boy. Starting with combos. First of all, Sidelight. The second Sidelight can be comboed off with pretty much everything, making this a very consistent combo starter. Your combos include Sidelight Uplight, Sidelight Neutral Light, Sidelight Downlight, Sidelight Up Special, Sidelight Neutral Air, Sidelight Side Air, Sidelight Empowered Up Special, and then finally Sidelight Empowered Neutral Special. The ones I actually use though are the Uplight, Downlight Empowered Up Special combos, so let's talk about those a little bit more closely now. Sidelight Uplight can then be comboed into Recovery, and this in my opinion is the easiest, most forgiving combo to land. So if you want to start with something simple, here you go. Learn this one. It takes all of a few seconds to really learn, and it also puts them pretty far in the air, allowing you to do some aerial reads, especially if you jump cancel afterwards. And then this can just kind of be your bread and butter for a while. And then following up that jump cancel, if you're going against someone who's bad at the game, or you're just trying to read an upwards spot or inwards dodge, go with the second recovery and you can kill at very low damages. You can also do a neutral air for a safer or spammier inwards dodge read, since you aren't putting yourself very close to the top of the map while doing this, while still reading. For a side dodge read, you can rather side air or side special depending on how much you want to commit to that read. Side air can be difficult to land though. In a lot of cases, people will panic dodge when they're put into this combo, especially if they're at high damage. So I like to wait a little bit and then throw in another up special, and that can read a lot into a kill. At lower damages, recovery, jump cancel recovery is true, so you can get even more damage off of it early on. In my testing, the most consistent way to land empowered up special in like a combo is immediately after Sidelight, as that only fails sometimes, unlike what feels like half the time for everything else. Hell, it doesn't even feel like half the time, it is like fucking half the time, dude. I don't know, am I just bad at the game? I don't know. Anyway, it is also way easier to land at higher damages, and I think it's just always true. Correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, I'll correct myself because I'm not a fucking idiot. So I actually like using this quite a bit, because a big detriment to Shaggy in general is that after like 100 damage, maybe a little more, a lot of his good combos stop being true, or at least are a lot harder to land, and so you have to resort to a lot less exciting stuff for the most part. And this is one of them. Downlight, just like Sidelight, can be comboed with pretty much anything. You can do Downlight Sidelight, Downlight Neutral Light, Downlight Neutral Air, Downlight Side Air, Downlight Down Air, Downlight Up Special, Downlight Empowered Up Special, Downlight Sandwich Throw, Downlight Empowered Sandwich Throw, and then Downlight Empowered Neutral Special. Yeah, there are more attacks that you can combo with Downlight than you can't. It's actually kind of ridiculous, and what makes Shaggy so damn easy to play. For ones that I actually personally use, it would mainly be Downlight Uplight for the same reasons as Sidelight Uplight, so just check that if you want to know. Alright, what's going on, boys and girls? This is coming at you live because they kind of changed the game on me a little bit while I was going to college instead of working on a fucking Shaggy video. And I come back and part of my video is fucking wrong and I have to fix it, and I've already had to fix enough of this fucking video, and I'm doing this live, okay? And so the biggest thing that they changed is, or like the only thing, is that Downlight Down Air, or Downlight Jump Down Air, is just no longer good. It just stops working after your third or your second time doing it, at best. Most of the time it's the first, and there's just no way to consistently make this a loop. You could try doing some weird dodge forward shit, but I'm pretty sure that's dodgeable at this point. And so this is no longer optimal. See, there's the second hit, and he flies away. And so you have to have an alternative. So you start with the Sidelight Neutral Air, into another Sidelight, or Downlight. It doesn't matter. Just know that Downlight signals the end of the combo. You can always loop this as much as you want with Sidelight. But whenever you do Downlight, just know that chances are you're done. But see, I just got 49 fucking damage, and that wasn't even a hard combo to do. And so whenever you Downlight though, like, you can land another Neutral Air, but just know that a lot of the times they bounce in a really weird spot, and you can't really do anything with it besides Uplight, maybe. If I can show it off. There you go. Finally. Holy shit. So they bounce up high, and so it's not as good. Meanwhile, Sidelight, this issue never really pops up. This combo is also an insane punt close to the ledge, since Down Air has a ton of downwards force. So you can kill very early off the stage if you manage to get her done. When attack decay does indeed start to set in, you can rather go for a bigger combo or try to land some kind of read. In particular for reads, I like to Neutral Air for an inwards dodge / jump read. Side special for a very committal everything else kind of read, since you can do that with this bullshit fucking kick. Or a forward dodge, side air, or neutral air for a safer outwards dodge read. And if you'd like to do a dodge cancel into a further continuation of your combo here, what I recommend you do is do a dodge cancel into a Sidelight, because that basically resets your combo, and then you can do more stuff. Keep in mind that attack DK will still be in effect at this point, so you're basically required to do a different combo. And for those combos, you would rather do neutral air up special if you want to start reading them in the air afterwards. or neutral light side air if you want to read to the side afterwards. And then another one I recommend doing is downlight, because you can, of course, you can dodge cancel your downlight. Except I can't do it right now, what the fuck? There we go. And that is very easy as well. You just kind of have to get the timing down. After that, it's very easy. What's weird sometimes if you fuck it up somehow, I don't really know what you do to fuck it up, but like you'll still be in the animation of the, like you'll have a running animation, but you'll still be in the downlight technically, I think. And so you slow down for a bit. Let me see if I can replicate that real quick. There you go. I got it. All right. So he like runs really slowly for a second. I don't know why. And just another preface. Yesterday, I couldn't get this combo to work. And I don't know if I'm just bad at the game or it didn't work yesterday. But now it works. So try it out in the lab just to make sure it works now for your fucking version of the game. And yeah. And so what's nice about this is that instead of doing this clapping thing and stopping your combo completely because you have a very long cooldown or like recovery frames, and they're also shot super far away, you can just extend the downlight like another 2 or 3 times. So what I like to do is dodge backwards the first time and then dodge forward, but I can't do it now because I fucking suck. There you go. That is the combo, baby. Side air is another great combo starter for Shaggy at lower damages, but remember that you kind of have to follow whoever you're hitting to land any of them. For combos, you have side air downlight, side air neutral light, side air up special, and side air neutral air. And then finally, you have side air neutral special, which I forgot to add in my script. Uplight can always be comboed with up special, so it's a very good attack to land, even at high damages. This is honestly one of the few combos that still work at high damages, so I use it quite often. In the air, you'll have to jump recovery to land up air at higher damages, and it will be dodgeable, so treat it more as a follow-up more than anything else. Neutral air may be finicky, but when you get it down and land the third hit with it, you can also combo a bit. For neutral air combos, you have neutral air downlight, neutral air sidelight, and then neutral air sandwich throw if you wanted to do that. Dodge reading is an essential part of playing multiverses, especially as you begin to climb MMR, and especially for Shaggy, since it's one of the most common ways to land your downlight. The most optimal attacks to use for dodge reads are downlight, sidelight, up special, up air, and neutral air. If you think they're going to dodge somewhere to the side, use a downlight or a sidelight for a less committal but harder to hit alternative, since you don't get armor or armor breaking or any of that kind of fun stuff. If you think they're going to jump, use up special or up air for a less committal alternative. It really is just that simple, but you can do some nifty downlight dodge cancels and stuff if you want to make it a little spicier. You know what I mean? Neutral air isn't for reading a dodge in a specific direction, but instead for a reactive read. The mobility you get on this attack is absolutely absurd, and you can literally just jump up, nair, and then follow them with this attack, and as long as you land the third tick, you can continue to land even more reads, but this time, they may have less time to think, making easy panic jumps and dodges much more common and predictable. Let's talk about perks now, huh? I'm not much of a definitive perk kind of guy, since I think there's a lot of situational stuff that you can use here, but I'm still gonna try my best to give you my advice for perks. So for the big perk, you are absolutely fucking trolling if you decide to go Hangry Man, which by the way allows you to become empowered very quickly at the cost of consuming your sandwich. Meanwhile, one last Zoinks give you empowerment for free by just getting to 100 damage, and unless you get gimped or something, you're guaranteed to get at least that high in damage before you die, so you're essentially guaranteed rage at least once every life. Use this one instead, or else you're a fucking idiot. That's the only perk I have an opinion on. Now I'll get to general thoughts about the smaller perks. For the red offense perks, most of them basically do the same thing, increase your damage in some sort of way. So really just use any of them if you want a damage boost. Besides that, I like to dick around with Make It Rain. Dog, which increases your projectile speed, and I like that. A lot of the defense perks are quite nice, with Slippery Customer giving you 10% bigger dodge window, which is just a general nice thing to have. School Me Once is nice as well, giving you a projectile shield after getting hit by a projectile, which is useful against projectile spammers. For utility perks, I like literally every single one of them but the cooldown reduction perks. I don't think you can really go wrong with anything else, but I personally use Tasmanian Geometry, which allows you to get more knockback influence, Last Stand, which increases your damage after reaching 100 damage, pairing very nicely with One Last Zoink since that also activates at 100 damage, Triple Jump, an obvious as to what it does kind of perk, and Speed Force Assist, which makes you go faster. And that's all I got for you for perks. Shaggy is a very close-ranged character, so anybody with a lot of ranged attacks can be very effective if they are good at positioning. People who generally annoy the absolute shit out of me are Batman, Bugs Bunny, Velma, and probably Rain Dog, but nobody plays that guy. In those situations where you're getting outranged, you have to play much more meticulously, focusing more on dodging their projectiles and relying even more heavily on your sandwich. If you just spam kicks and downlight, you're gonna have a bad time. Try your best to get close to these guys without rushing, and try to read their dodge into a good combo to snowball the game from there. Another thing to watch out for are characters who outrange your melee abilities, like Finn. When you don't have priority, you need to rely on armor a whole lot more, so use Neutralite a lot, and Downlight also gives you armor, but the window in which that happens is very small, so it's really only usable when you're right on top of them while using it. Your immediate reaction when you're getting outranged is to try to punish their attacks, such as Finn's horseshit, especially if you come from a Brawlhalla background like myself. I am sad to inform you, however, that ain't fucking happening. Attacks in this game have very few recovery frames. In other words, the amount of frames your character is locked out from doing anything after you attack, making it very easy for people to dodge out of your punish before it lands. Furthermore, hitboxes in this game are massive, so trying to land even the most simple reads usually lead to you getting hit when they aren't even facing you. Apparently the devs are trying to fix hitboxes, but I'm sure this will still be a fundamental issue when punishing. The only attacks that you should even think about using in an aggressive, punishy way are Downlight and Neutralite simply because they give you armor. This makes their overly massive hitbox and low recovery frames mean jack shit if you time it right, and their attacks don't break armor. Using something like a Sidelight or Neutralator to punish though, that's just not gonna happen very often unless the devs drastically change how this game works. So anyway, this makes dodge reads much more important, so make sure you do that, huh? If you're not going against someone who's sort of a counter, your job becomes very simple. Pressure with your Super Saiyan power-up and sandwich, and try to get into your high-damaging combos as often as possible without being read like a book. In the air, use your up and bullshit-ass side special to read into hopefully kills, and try to punt them into a downlight or down air when they are on the ledge, or just generally under you off the stage. Do that and you'll probably be a better Shaggy player than I am. Well done you. Shaggy is a great introduction to multiverses and its mechanics because he's not a very mechanically challenging character, allowing you to focus entirely on game sense and positioning. His range only further focuses you to get good at these things, as you'll get used to getting prioritied on otherwise. So yeah, he's a great starter character to level up. He's not like overpowered or anything, just very consistent and good. So yeah, go play him, huh?